I still remember the sound of those metal doors closing behind me. It wasn't the loudest sound I'd ever heard, but it was the kind that stays inside your bones. Cold, final. Like a lock clicking not just behind you, but inside of you. You know that feeling when you think your life is finally turning around, and then one person says your name in a courtroom and everything falls apart? That's where this story begins. When the judge said my name, except, she didn't. She said, Mykola Mikhailovich. And my first thought was, that's not me. Except it was. Or, it used to be. I came to the United States almost 7 years ago, and for the first 3, I pretended to be invisible. For someone like me, from a small town in western Ukraine, invisibility isn't hard. Keep your voice low. Keep your head down. Pay in cash. Don't complain, don't attract attention, and never, ever, check your mail from the government. I was 24. My mom had died 2 months after I left, and my dad, well, let's just say he was better at finding the bottom of a bottle than a job. I didn't run toward America because I loved it, I ran because there was nowhere left to stay. My first job was washing dishes at a Ukrainian-owned restaurant in New Jersey. The boss was nice enough, but every pay envelope was cash only. I didn't care. I was surviving, sleeping in a 3-person room with 5 other guys, 2 from Kharkiv, 1 from Moldova, and a married couple from Venezuela who argued every night about who ate the last banana. For 3 years, America was just noise, cars, sirens, English words I barely understood. But then, I met her. Her name was Amy. She came into the restaurant one night after closing, asking if we were hiring, for her boyfriend, she said. I don't know why I said yes, but I helped him get a shift. He quit after a week, and she came back to thank me. She stayed for tea. We talked until sunrise. Amy was American through and through, college, debt, politics, therapy, the works. She said my accent was beautiful. I said I didn't believe her. She laughed, and for the first time in years, I believed that maybe, just maybe, I could build something here. For a while, things were good. She helped me understand the forms I was too afraid to open. She said we'd figure out a way to fix my papers. I believed her, until the night blue and red lights flashed outside her apartment window. It was a random traffic stop. She was driving, I was in the passenger seat. The officer asked for ID. My stomach turned into ice. I handed over my Ukrainian ID card like a fool. The officer stared at it too long. He asked me questions I didn't have answers for. Within 15 minutes, I was in the back of a patrol car. That's when I learned 2 things. My tourist visa had expired 4 years ago. There was already a deportation order in my name, issued when I didn't show up for an immigration hearing I never knew existed. Apparently, the letter had been mailed to an address I left behind a month after arriving. It was a bureaucratic ghost of a life I didn't even have yet. I spent 3 nights in detention before Amy's lawyer managed to reach me. He said, "Don't worry, we'll reopen your case." I wanted to believe him. But on day 4, they transferred me to Newark ICE court. That place isn't a courtroom. It's a factory of fear. You sit on plastic chairs with people from everywhere, El Salvador, Haiti, China, Ukraine. You all look different, but the fear is identical. The same whispered prayers, the same shaking hands. When they called my name, I didn't move, because I didn't recognize it. Mykola Mikhailovich. My documents had a typo. My real name is Mykola, but somewhere in the paperwork I had become Mykola. And that one missing letter? It might have been my only hope. The judge asked, "Are you here, Mr. Mikhailovich?" And for 2 heartbeat-long seconds, I stayed silent. If I didn't stand up, if I just sat there, maybe they'd skip me. Maybe I could disappear again. But then Amy, sitting in the back row, whispered, "Stand up." And so I did. The judge looked at me the way a tired person looks at a smudge on a mirror. She said, "You entered the United States on a B-2 visa in 2017 and overstayed. You have no criminal record, but you are subject to removal. Do you understand?" I said yes. Then she asked if I wanted to apply for voluntary departure. If granted, I'd have 60 days to leave on my own. Amy was crying quietly. I said I wanted to fight. Over the next few months, my life turned into a stack of papers, affidavits about affidavits, character references, photos of me volunteering at a community center. Amy said we'd get married, that it might help. I said, "Don't marry me because of this." One night, I found her ring box in her drawer anyway. But things get messy when hope meets immigration law. Her lawyer filed for a stay of removal, denied. Then an appeal, delayed. Then a motion to reopen, ignored. I started working odd jobs again, drywall, welding, landscaping, all under fake names. Every night, I'd get calls from numbers I didn't recognize. Sometimes, it was just silence. Sometimes, a voice saying, "Mr. Mikhailovic, we have updates about your case." It wasn't until March that my court date came. That morning, ICE officers checked IDs at the entrance. A guard took my bracelet, looked at his list, and frowned. He whispered to another officer, then said, "Wait here." I waited. 20 minutes passed. Then he said, "Your name's not on the docket." I almost laughed. Almost cried. Almost fainted. Not on the docket. That meant, officially, I didn't exist, not today. Amy squeezed my hand and said, "Maybe it's a sign. Maybe it's over." But as we were leaving, another officer called out, "Hey, wait, you're Mikole, right? With a Y." He showed me a printout. The name wasn't mine exactly, but it was close enough. I froze. He said, "You're up next." Inside, the courtroom was fluorescent hell. My lawyer wasn't there, stuck in traffic, apparently. The judge asked if I wanted to proceed without him. I said yes, I just wanted it to end. The government attorney read through my file like it was fiction. Entered without inspection, failure to depart, pending order since 2019, it sounded like they were describing someone else. When the judge asked if I had anything to say, I told her the truth. That I work, pay my rent, pay taxes through someone else's number. That I fell in love. That I've never hurt anyone, never stolen. That my only real crime was trying to vanish in a place that promises freedom, as long as you don't ask for it. She listened. She even looked sorry, but not sorry enough. I'm sympathetic, but my hands are tied. Unless there's proof of extraordinary hardship or persecution, the law is clear. Amy whispered, "Tell her about your family." So I told her about my mother, about how she died waiting for me to send money, how I found out through a Facebook message. About my father, about his heart attack last year. About my brother who still believes I'm a hero. The judge sighed. Then she said words I'll never forget. "There's something odd in your file, your biometric data doesn't match the file from 2019. My heart almost stopped. She turned the paper toward the attorney, they whispered back and forth. Finally, she said, "We need to confirm identity. Case adjourned until records are verified." Adjourned. That was 2 years ago. In that time, I never got another letter. No calls, no visits, nothing. I kept checking the IC docket online, my case number doesn't exist anymore. Amy and I moved to a different state. New jobs, new apartment. I got a driver's license from a county that doesn't check IDs too closely. Now, some nights, when the air smells of rain, I think about that moment, standing in front of a judge who wasn't sure whether I was real. Maybe I really disappeared that day. Maybe I became the missing letter, the Y that broke the system. Sometimes I imagine an officer typing my name again, trying to find me. Mykolaiy, no results. Mykola, no results. And then he shrugs, drinks his coffee, and closes the file. Maybe that's the closest thing to freedom someone like me ever gets. Amy wants us to get married for real now. She says she doesn't care about papers, she just wants me to stop looking over my shoulder. But I don't know if I ever will. Yesterday, I checked the mail and found an envelope with no return address. Inside, a photocopy of my court case, stamped archived. No explanation, no decision, no signature. Just one line at the bottom, in handwriting I don't recognize. You were never here. And I don't know if that means I'm safe, or already gone.